Hey everybody, it's Christina. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you the projects that I fully finished for cross-stitching in 2024, as well as my works in progress and my plans for 2025. So a little bit about myself. My name is Christina, if you're new to my channel. Normally, I share card making or paper crafting videos here on YouTube, but this year I do have plans to share just more crafting in general. So cross-stitching, paper crafting, and just maybe some DIY kind of things. All different types of things are my plans for this year. I live in Northeast Pennsylvania. I work full-time at our local public library, which I've been doing for 32 years, and I absolutely love it. I'm married, and I have one son who just, graduated from college last year, and Monday actually is starting his first full-time job. He had a hard time finding a job in his career path that he chose for college, and was working part-time, and then just recently found his first full-time job. So we're all excited for him. He's excited to get working in his field that he studied. On January 1st, we adopted two adorable cats. We had a dog and two cats, but over the past few years, we've, unfortunately, our fur babies passed away. And we went maybe 2 months without any animals in the house, and it was just very strange. So we adopted two adorable sisters that are 2 years old. Their previous owner had passed away, so we adopted these two, and they're just the sweetest things. They are getting used to our house, getting used to us. One is a little bit more shy than the other, but they are just adorable, and we love having animals in the house. So we're really, really thrilled that they're here. Their names are Maddie and Mabel, and we call them the M&M girls. So behind me on my counter, I have all of the projects that I fully finished and fully finished last year. So we're going to start with those. I'm going to do a little combination between the front camera and my overhead camera so you can see the projects a little bit better. So we're going to hop into my very first finished project. The very first project that I worked on was in January, and it was this one right here. It's called Be Mine Home by Primrose Cottage. And I started this using my first time using linen fabric. Now, I just ordered linen fabric from Amazon just to give it a try, see how I liked it. And I really loved playing with this. I believe this is, I think it's a 30 count. It's by Weishalt. I ordered it on Amazon just as a way for me to test it. I ended up giving this fabric to a friend who does mostly Ada to have her try, maybe if she wants to try using linen. But this was the very first one I did. It was a downloadable PDF from Primrose Cottage that I could just go to Joann's or Michael's and buy the DMC floss for it. And I had a lot of fun. So this was the very first thing that I did coming back to cross stitching, not doing it since the late 90s. A lot of fun with this one. And yeah, so this was my first finished project, but not fully finished. So the next thing I worked on, I started in February and finished it in March, is this Winter Quaker, also by Primrose Cottage. I was really testing out doing things because I can download the patterns. And this one I made into a fully finished project. I ordered the kit, the finishing kit from Primrose Cottage, had the download, and then stitched this on 28 count. Let me just take a look, 28 count mushroom linen fabric, and ordered the finishing kit with this, which had the thread, the fabric, and the rickrack that goes around it. And this was a lot of fun. I was so nervous doing this because I'm just learning or getting back into or getting to know a sewing machine, and I was a little worried about this. I also had a rinky-dink sewing machine, and I was just thrilled that I didn't ruin my project and it came out really nice. So I love this. Super fun. I do have this on display. This original pattern has 2023 on it. I changed it to 2024 since that's when I put this together. But this was stitched out using, I think it's called blue denim. Let me just double check. I'm sorry, it's Battleship by Color and Cotton thread. And when I bought the kit, it came with the thread. The only thing I had to supply was the fabric, the linen stitch fabric. So the next one is a Tiny Town, Blooming Tiny Town. They have these for seasonal. I do have the Valentine's Day one. This is by Heart and Hand, and I stitched this on 32 count, which is the first time I've ever used 32 count linen, and it was in Milk and Honey by Fiber on a Whim. I also used the called for floss. I did not finish this one because I do want to make this into a drum, and I'm very nervous about sewing it into a drum. However, I did buy a new sewing machine over the summer that's a little bit better than my rinky-dink machine that I had before, and getting a lot more comfortable with sewing. So I think I am going to make that a goal for this year, and to make this one into a fully finished project by making it into this little round drum here. I really have a lot of fun with these. These are really nice. There's a whole series of these for the different seasons, and I definitely want to maybe work on the Valentine's Day one sometime during the year. I'm not going to do it this year or beginning of the year to have it done for Valentine's Day, but maybe I'll make that like a start to do somewhere between now and Valentine's Day. So my next one I don't know what happened, but for some reason I didn't seem to stitch anything in April, or maybe I just didn't write it down. But in May, I started this one. So you could tell at the beginning I was using a lot of the Primrose Cottage. This is the Honeybee Quaker, and I really had fun with this one. I started it in May, finished it in June, which I took it with us on vacation because when we went on vacation, we found a needlework store, and I spent a ton of money building my collection that day. But this one is the finished project. So I used 32 count sand drift Cedar River linen for my fabric, and then stitched it with the called for colors, and then also when I ordered the pattern, I also ordered the finishing kit. So I actually got the called for colors and all the finishings. Now this one pillow, I know behind here I have a mess with the stitching, but that little piece of fabric did come in handy. The only thing I wish I did was used maybe one of my die cuts, and I probably could take this off and restitch it, but use one of my die cuts for card making and paper crafting to make this into some sort of pattern or something, like maybe a scalloped square, rectangle, something like that. But that is what I put in the back to hide my mistake. So that was a little fun one to make, and that one I hurried up and finished. Took it with us on vacation. I came home and hurried up and finished it so that I can move on to some of the new things that I purchased. So next I have something that I worked on for Halloween, and that is by Brenda Jarvet, and that's this Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee with dyed needle and thread. And look at all of those great little pillows that are on there and the ones on the back. This one right here is the one I did for fall. So I have this on display in a dough bowl, and I made this into a little pillow. I did use the called for colors, and for fabric, it is 32 count flax, Zweigart flax fabric. Just when I was sitting here, I realized that there's supposed to be a little bow and a string hanging down from the bat to the ghost, and I didn't put it in. But I think I could probably still add that, even though I didn't put it on when I originally stitched it. But I did, it looks okay if I don't. It's not bad. But I did make this into a pillow. I did make some custom cording using some coordinating colors. And yeah, so that's really cute. It's my one and only Halloween themed cross stitch project, but I had a lot of fun with that. Now this one I am keeping in a project or kind of a kit because I do want to still work on some more of the patterns that are in that book. So my next two to share are both winter or Christmas themed. And the first one is the Hygge holiday. Nicole Spohr did this as a stitch along last year, and I had so much fun doing this. I didn't do it when she was filming it. I did it afterwards because I wanted to order the frame that also came with this. So this is the Hygge holiday. When you ordered it last year for a limited time, it was available to have, that comes with 5 ornaments. I think it's 5 ornaments that you can also stitch that have different parts to this Hygge design. I did it just like Nicole did it, even used the Tim Holtz and did the coloring, because this is the first time I've ever done something that I framed myself, other than my 1997 ones that I didn't know what I was doing. So this was a lot of fun to do. So this is Hygge Holiday by Hands On Design. It's I don't think it's currently available. Probably will be coming out maybe the end of the year around the holidays again. Maybe the ornaments will be coming out. I can't say for sure. So this is my finished project. and I did it in the winter, I think it's the winter forest. Yeah, I did it in the winter forest using Fog 32 count fabric that was by Picture This Plus, and I had a lot of fun doing this. I did this started in November and finished it in November. It went really quick, and I really loved it. I also framed it the same with the frame that Nicole used, which was a board by 141 Design, and then also added, even on the bottom, the little Tim Holtz board. So this was a big help for getting me inspired to try mounting my own finished larger size projects, because I have never done that before, except for when I was in the 90s and trying to figure out how to frame something myself using stuff that you could just buy at AC Moore. But this is this was a lot of fun. I really had fun working with this one, and the largest one I did last year. So my last one I'm going to share is the last thing that I fully finished in 2024, and that is this Snowman 2024 by Primrose Cottage. I had a lot of fun with this one. I started it in November, finished it in December, and I also have a video for this one here on my channel if you want to check it out and how I did put this one together. I used 32 count Zweigart raw linen for this one with the called for colors. Stained just an inexpensive board that I bought on clearance at Joann's a while ago, using the same stain that I did for my last fully finished. Added some of these little faux greenery, and then added a velvet red bow to the top. And I had a blast doing this one. So that was the last of my fully finished or finished projects from 2024. I'm going to share with you now my WIPs, or my works in progress, that I am currently working on. So now I'm going to share with you the things that I started this year but haven't fully finished. These are just my works in progress that I started last year. I do have things I started this year, and I actually have one that I fully finished already this year. But I am going to just first show you the stuff from last year, and in the next video I'll show you what I'm working on this year. So this is my first one, and I think this might be the thing I started in April that I didn't record. I did start this one, and I started it on a different fabric, ended up ripping it out because I didn't like the fabric, and then started a new fabric, and I don't know, maybe because of not liking the other fabric, it kind of just turned me off from doing it. But this one is by Stitching with the Housewives. It's called Home Sweet Home, and I started it, like I said, on a different fabric, and I have it now on a new fabric, which I did not even write down what fabric this is. And it's a full piece, or I think it's a full piece of fabric. It does sort of look like the fabric that I used for my Hygge holiday. So maybe I'll look and see if that matches. But this is all I got done on this one. Yeah, so it's going to be one of those ones that maybe I'll come back to, or maybe it'll be a UFO, an unfinished object. But I am stitching it with the called for colors as well. So yeah, that's the first one that I have that is started. It's work in progress. So this next one is one that I picked up when we were on vacation last year, and that's the Honeybee Biscornu. And I had fun stitching the top of it, which is this one right here. And the bottom part, it says to stitch in black. I tried black. I could not see for anything the black to stitch it. So I ended up just using the same fabric that I used for the top to start the back. Now, I only had this done at the end of this year. The beginning of this year, I did go through and do the vine. Technically, it's a start from last year, but I have worked on it a little bit this year. I started the vine going around the outside. I do have to do the little beehives that are in each of the corners, but I think what I'm going to do with this one is leave this as a kind of travel one. So whenever we go someplace, I can take this with me and have it as one I can work on when we're traveling. Yeah, so this is done. This is a 32 count. Let's see. I have a little chart that I use for keeping track of this. So this I started, where is it? So this I started in July of last year. Didn't finish it. It is using the Call for Colors, which is DMC. And then it's on 32 count parchment by Fiber on a Whim. And I really was super excited about working on this one. Got the top part done, but the vining on around the outside takes forever. And I started in January, at the beginning of this year, doing the vine on this one, and it took me a week. But I didn't work on it very often. I was waiting for some orders that I placed to come in. So this kept me busy while I was waiting for those orders. So that is one that I started. Like I said, I am using the called for colors on this one. I'm trying to be careful not to show patterns. I keep all of my project kits in these Altenew bags, which I absolutely love. The zipper is fantastic on them. They're just nice quality. Ooh. Don't look at that. So this next one is one that I was waiting for the Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee to come in, the Brenda Jarvet pattern, and I just wanted something fall or Halloween to stitch, and I went with some patterns that I can download on Etsy. So this one is one I started. I did not finish. I know I started it in October at some point, or maybe the end of September. But this is by Emily Call. She does have an Etsy channel, or an Etsy store, and she has some fantastic designs. I started this one. I didn't like, because of the color of the fabric, one of the flosses were just a little too light and blended into this fabric, so I switched it to a little bit of a darker orange on my pumpkins. But this was stitching really fast. I'm probably going to bring this out and do this as I move closer to the fall this year. So that is another, and again, I didn't record. I wasn't great at recording everything, just with what fabric and stuff I used, but I do know that I was using almost the called for DMC colors, with the exception of that one pumpkin, because it was too close in color to that fabric. So my next one is by Samplers and Primitive. It's the Bee Quaker 2, and I had a lot of fun with this one starting it, and it went really fast. I was surprised at how quick it was going, but I did stop working on it because I wanted to pick up doing some more Halloween and not too focused on like my late summer stuff. So this one started same fabric as I did for the spooky Halloween one, and again, don't know what it is, so I can't tell you what it is, but I know I'm using the called for colors on this one. I am going to get back to this one. The only thing is that when I was doing it, there's some like half stitches in here that were just throwing me off, and maybe because of the time I was doing it, it's usually I'm later in the day that I'm cross stitching, that I just kind of got thrown off from how to stitch it, because every time I did it, it just looked terrible. I ripped it out a couple of times. So, but this is one that's going to definitely be a project that I might work on this coming year to try to get this one a little bit more done. I really love the colors in this. It does kind of have a fall vibe with the different colors. So we're gonna definitely get back to this one this year. So my next one is one that I finished after I finished my Snowman 2024. I started this one. This is one I'm going to work on through the year because I want to do all three of them. But it is this Gather Pine Cones by Hands On Design. And is that not the cutest collection? I want to do these. I already have something that I know I'm going to mount them to once I finish them. But I did start this one right after I finished the Snowman one in December. But I had very limited time with this one because the holidays rolled up and I had a lot to do for the holidays. So this is going to be one that I'm probably going to work on throughout the year. I do want to get all three of these done for next year. This is on 32 count sugar and cream and sugar, fiber on a whim linen. And that one I have started just the top part of this one. And it looks like I was just getting ready to start doing the Gather Pine Cones section of this one, but it was going pretty quick. And I really love just this really beautiful detail on this one. And looking forward to doing all three of these. So that was my last WIP, my last work in progress from 2024. And when I come back in my next video, I'm going to show you what I've already started, what I've finished, and my plans for 2025. Thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to leave a link to as much as I can down below in the description if you want to check out any of these patterns. I'm just going to leave the patterns. I'm not going to leave like the fabric or anything like that, because fabric to me is like a personal choice, especially if you're prefer to use Aida over linen, or if you like linen over Aida and you like different sizes. So I'm not going to link to those, but I will link to the patterns that I shared in today's video if you want to check them out, especially if I can find them. Like I know Hygge Holiday probably is not going to be available. So I hope you enjoyed my first cross stitch video for this year. Stay tuned because I do plan on trying to get you a new stitching video at least once a week, whether it be an update on the stuff I've cross stitched or things that I am making. Like I do have a needle book that I made and I did do a video on it, so that'll be out probably next Sunday. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.